All right, let's dive into the world of a developer on Google Cloud. We're going to explore a really fundamental question. How do you take a great idea, something you've written in code, and get it running so that the entire world can use it? Let's get into it.
Think about your favorite app for a second. How does it work just as well when it's only you using it as it does when millions of people are on it at the same time, say during a big game or a news event? That kind of massive scale, well, it's not magic. It's the result of some seriously clever engineering, and it all starts with how the code gets packaged up. So before any app can handle a global audience, the developer has to solve a much more basic problem. They have to make sure the code that works perfectly on their laptop is going to work exactly the same way anywhere else. And that whole journey kicks off with a concept called containerization. To really get this, we first have to understand what a container is. Basically, it's this self-contained package. It holds not just your application's code, but literally everything that code needs to run. All the libraries, the tools, the settings, they're all bundled right in there. This is huge because it elegantly solves that classic developer headache of, well, it worked on my machine. You know, the best way to think about this is with a real-world analogy. It's like a physical shipping container. That container can be moved by any truck, any train, or any ship, and nobody needs to know or care what's inside. A software container is the exact same idea. It can run on a developer's laptop, a test server, or in a massive cloud, and it will behave the exact same way every single time. It's the ultimate in software portability. Okay, so once your application is all neatly packaged up in its container, you come to this big fork in the road. This is maybe the biggest decision in your whole cloud journey. Do you want complete, granular control over every tiny aspect of how your app runs? Or do you want the convenience of letting someone else handle all the complicated bits so you can just move faster? We can actually visualize this choice with Legos. Think about it. Are you the kind of person who wants to build a custom masterpiece from scratch, where you control the placement of every single brick? That gives you total flexibility. Or are you using a pre-designed Lego kit that comes with instructions? That'll get you to a finished model way, way faster. Both ways are totally valid. They just serve very different goals. In the Google Cloud world, this choice boils down to two main services. On the left, for full control, you've got Google Kubernetes Engine, or GKE. This is your giant box of individual Lego bricks, ultimate control. Then on the right, for full convenience, you have Cloud Run. This is your pre-made kit, maximum speed and simplicity. It's that classic trade-off between power and ease of use. So let's zoom in on GKE for a second. When you choose GKE, you're choosing power. It's absolutely perfect for really complex applications where you need to fine-tune every little detail, the underlying virtual machines, the networking rules, exactly how your app scales. If your team is already living in the world of Kubernetes, GKE is going to feel like home. It's the natural, powerful choice.
Now, on the complete other side of the spectrum, you've got Cloud Run, and this is all about convenience. You'll hear the term serverless, and what that really means is you don't even have to think about servers. You just give Google your container, and it handles everything else. It can automatically scale from 0 users all the way to millions, and this is critical, you only pay for the exact moments your code is actually running. This often makes it the absolute fastest way to get your idea out into the world.
But wait, if you choose that path of control with GKE, it means you're probably not just running one container, you're potentially running hundreds or even thousands of them. And managing all of them requires an orchestrator, a system to direct your whole fleet. And in the cloud world, that system is Kubernetes.
And you know, the name itself gives us the perfect way to think about it. Kubernetes is the helmsman, or the pilot of your container ship. It steers the entire fleet, it decides which containers go where, it replaces any that might fall overboard, and it just makes sure the whole system is sailing smoothly.
So what does that look like in practice? It's kind of a four-step dance. First, you package your app in a container. You've got that down. Second, you write a configuration file. Think of it as a blueprint that tells Kubernetes exactly how you want your app to run. Third, Kubernetes, our helmsman, takes that blueprint and intelligently places your containers onto the available virtual machines, which we call nodes. And finally, a service is created to act as a stable front door, exposing your app to your users. Okay, let's zoom out for a minute. Whether you're using GKE, Cloud Run, or dozens of other services, you need a way to keep everything organized. A single company might have hundreds of different apps and developers. Without a system, it would be pure chaos.
Google Cloud solves this with a really clear hierarchical structure. The best way to picture it is like a massive digital filing cabinet, or maybe even better, a corporate org chart. Everything has its proper place, which is absolutely critical for managing security and costs when you start to scale up.
So here's what that hierarchy looks like. At the very top, you have the organization. That's your whole company. Underneath that, you can create folders, which usually line up with departments like engineering or marketing. Then, inside those folders are projects, and each project holds all the resources for a single application. This structure is so important because permissions and policies just flow down from the top. It creates order out of what could be a lot of complexity.
And this logical structure directly leads us to the two most important parts of managing any cloud environment: controlling who can do what, and keeping an eye on how much you're spending. Let's tackle access first.
Every single security decision you make in the cloud boils down to this one simple question: who, which person, or which service can do what? What action can they take on which resource? A specific virtual machine, a database, or an entire project? Google Cloud's whole system for answering this is called Identity and Access Management, or IAM.
IAM gives you three main tools to grant these permissions. You've got basic roles like owner or editor. These are really broad. It's like giving someone the keys to the whole building. They're simple, but can be pretty risky for big projects. The best practice for most cases is to use predefined roles. These are fine-grained permissions for specific jobs, like compute admin. It's all about the principle of least privilege. Only give the exact permissions someone needs to do their job, and nothing more. And for those really unique situations, you can even create your own custom roles.
And finally, there's the cost. You can't manage what you don't measure, right? Google Cloud lets you set billing budgets for your projects. Now, it is super important to understand that these are for monitoring and for alerts. When you hit a certain percentage of your budget, you'll get an email. A budget won't automatically shut your services down, but it gives you that critical visibility you need to keep your spending under control.
And so, we come all the way back to that fundamental choice. From packaging your code in a container, to choosing your platform, to organizing your resources and managing who gets access. At every single step, you're making a decision. So for your next big idea, which path would you take? Would you build it with the ultimate flexibility and control of GKE? Or would you get it out to the world as fast as you possibly could with the simplicity of Cloud Run? The right answer? Well, that depends entirely on your journey.